This is Harry Judd for Boxing Social in partnership with Empire Fight Store. We're in Bijou here in Sheffield for the GBM Sports Media Lunch. Delighted to be joined, but how do I... Sir? Johnny Nelson? Or is it Johnny? Yeah, how do you like to be announced?
Curtsy. Nice. It's an honour. I'm still expecting someone to tap me on the shoulder and say, wrong Johnny, but it's an absolute honour.
Congratulations. A lot of people, it's a long time coming for you. A lot of people have been saying, you do work with prisons, work with children. Was that a rite of passage for you to do the community, do the charity work after your career?
That's how I was brought through the system with Brendan. Brendan taking us into schools, youth clubs, taking us to high-end businessmen, taking us to prisons, letting us see how life could be, should be, shouldn't be, and so it was just giving us opportunities to make you think outside the box, and it's just trying to carry on that legacy. Never be anything near what Brendan did, but it's nice that it's recognised, and I like the fact because it also then recognised the work that Brendan's done as well.
Talk me through some of the charity work you do. If you could list some of the things you do. I know you work with Mind Charity, you're an ambassador for Sheffield Hospital Charities, just roll off some of the work you do.
Gloves Up Nice Down, we do that charity there. I work with a lot of prisons, schools. We do a lot of motivational stuff for business and stuff like that, but I think the prisons and schools is the most satisfying. I can remember one young man that I used to mentor at school, and now he's got kids. He's an adult, he's grown up, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see that he could have easily gone the wrong way. So, just making that one change in one person, to me, it's just getting the MBE is giving me a voice to actually say, look, let's try this. Let's try it this way. It gives people a reason to listen to say and try it a different way to try and give people a different outlook on life.
Do you feel like you're making a real difference?
What Brendan always said, I can, if I show you, if you're ignorant and you don't know you're ignorant, that's a shame. But if you're ignorant and you know you're ignorant, that's where the crime is. And so if we don't know, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Whereas if you have somebody guiding you, somebody that you think, I actually can relate to him or her, then to me that's what's important. You just need someone just to guide you. Mine was Brendan, and I hope I'm a version of Brendan for somebody else or for others. But trust me, it's more important than you'll ever realise.
We are here in Sheffield, your home city. It's good again to support local businesses. You mentioned it there in that one-to-one you've done there. How much work do you do in this city in particular?
I've seen Sheffield change massively since I've lived here. I love going to London. I'm just a typical tourist. I love the buildings. I love everything, the hustle bustle. I love it all. But I love coming back to Sheffield. I love the change in Sheffield has been massive. But again, if you've got to work on your own doorstep first to help secure and stabilise your own doorstep to make home happy. And so when I walk around, I see the businesses helping each other. That's how it should be, because that's how a city becomes a city. That's how a city becomes the hub. I remember I was here before the English Institute of Sport was built, and Brendan was raving about this, and we thought, and he worked with Richard Cabon, former sports manager, Peter Price, all these guys in the council to get this done. So you see the development of Sheffield, which is a really good thing.
This is King Charles's first New Year's Honours list. Again, it's historic in that case, historic for you. How did you find out?
I got
like a letter, like Harry Potter, like woven and things like that. Is that how it is?
I got a letter, and I thought, I didn't want to say anything. I thought, nah, they've got their own guy here. And since getting it, I've had a few letters with like a royal seal, like to say congratulations. I'm like, wow. And so I don't know what to do with them. But it's proper flattering. It's proper flattering.
Again, congratulations. But look, we're here, GBM Sports Media Lunch. Where can you see GBM Sports going? Because it's making waves in those small hall shows. It's done brilliant numbers so far.
Is he the main promoter, the main fan of GBM Sports? He's articulate, good-looking, smart-mouthed young man. He knows the fight game. He knows the fighters. He knows the fight culture. If he carries on going the way he's going, especially being the kind of talker he is, and he's confident and he's just finding his feet to think, do I belong here? In doing that, he's putting shows on and he's getting a chance to show talent that are always scratching around. He wants to put a number of shows on a year. You see him all over the place and everybody's thinking, who is that guy there? Watch out for him, because if he carries on going the way he's going, in 5 years' time, he could be a main player. But you know what? It's hard enough to survive in the boxing without television. He is. And so to me, he's doing something special already. And he's getting local business to help what he's doing. And so to me, it's all positive.
Stacked card, great card. Just run me through it, that main event. What did you learn about the two fighters during that gloves are off there?
Wasn't that gloves are off, it was a conversation.
Sorry, similar gloves are off, yeah.
I think Reece Mole, quietly confident to make such a bold prediction and say I'd quit if this guy beats me. He's bold because you're never going to live it down if you lose and you carry on fighting, because nobody's going to believe what you say. It's like the boy who cried wolf. Hamid Shaz, he's confident, 18-0. The younger of the two at 26 years old. He, again, very confident. The fight should have happened previously. He hit his shoulder. Reece doesn't believe the excuses given. Thinks it's because he struggled with the weight. Thinks it's for every other reason going. Now the fight's on. And they've both been doing their homework on each other. Both relatively close-ish to the weight. The fight's February the 10th, Friday, February the 10th at the Magna. So these guys are probably at the right place where they should be, weight-wise. And it's a good focus. You've got two guys that are roughly around the same age, 28, 26 years old. You've got two guys that really fancy it, and you want to get to that next level, get past the English title level.
How important are those English titles to the boxing world, to a fighter? Because not a lot of people go through that traditional route. I do love that area title, traditional route, but how important are those English and British titles to a fighter?
Depending on what kind of fighter you are. I won the Central Area title. I thought, wow, it was a big deal to me. Then winning the British title was a bigger deal to me. And some fighters have that professional springboard where they can surpass that and think, I don't need to do that stuff. It's just like, I can take it if I want. I love the traditional route because the traditional gives you confidence, self-belief, and it's an official way to say, well, this guy at this level, he's the best above everybody else behind him. So I like this traditional route, and it gives you motivation, something to fight for. And actually, it shines a light to show you what kind of fighter you are. Because some fighters, when they win something, they get gassed. They lose focus. They think, I've done it now. They become too content. So in doing that, they're not the same fighter they were before they had success.
Yeah, I definitely think it's like a gradual building process. I think for a young fighter, multiple comments in that face-off just now. It's not going to go the distance, Johnny.
The style of both fighters tells you that. So nobody's going to have to go looking for anybody. It's a case of who's got it. Now, Hamid believes that Reece doesn't have 10 rounds, a good 10 rounds, and he thinks he gasses after 4. Reece just sits and smiles, all right, no problem. So he's really, really confident, or, he's got a great poker face. But either way, to me, it's a good little close Yorkshire derby going on there, so I like that.
Fantastic as well. Look, where can both fighters go if they are successful in this fight, do you reckon?
Well, that's the next step. That is the next step. You can't think British titles. You got to think these guys have got to earn that right to get in a position to box for that. But again, they're both at lightweight. I gather Reece is talking about stepping down. Was talking about stepping down at one point, so you can obviously get lighter. So the world's an oyster, domestic-wise. Once you've got a title, he opens other the doors for you.
2 weeks away though. The undercard has been announced. I must say, and it's got so much love from hardcore boxing fans, casual boxing fans. Liam Smith Eubank, I mean, that is a hell of an undercard.
Liam Smith Eubank, oh, you know what, the fight itself is mad. I think it's a wicked fight. The undercard, great undercard, and what a way to start the year.
What did you reckon that Jack Massey fight as well? There's a lot of people don't really see the point of it. Ben Shalom come on Talk Sport, and I thought that was eloquent what he said. We could have got a journeyman from America, but for Jack Massey, this is his Rocky Balboa moment, possibly.
Of course it is. Of course, and the thing is, people say, "What's the point of it?" You never know what opportunities arise. You know, you've got to give a man a chance. That some people thought, has he got one? You know, where's he going to go? Why are you wasting time? And if that was the case, I would never have boxed. People saying, Brendan, why are you wasting time on him? So again, it's about developing fighters, giving them an opportunity to say, right, you know, this is what I can do.
Since the fight has been announced, since all the talking has gone on, has your mind swayed in between who you think is going to win? Has it always been one fight, or have you kind of, like many people, kept changing ever since this fight has happened?
In regards to the main bill? I'm struggling. I'd expect Liam Smith to win because of his pedigree, because of his experience, but timing is everything, and it might be right timing for Eubank. Eubank's got an amazing engine, and he's very good at getting under a fighter's skin, and so in that you've got to think. I'd lean towards Smith, but I wouldn't be surprised if Eubank actually got the timing right and pulled it off.
I was with Liam just before Christmas, and the battle, the rivalry, the jibes have continued. I mean, we saw Eubank boxing or sparring on Christmas Day with a Christmas hat on, another piece of content out there, and Liam Smith dismissed that. The 60%, the 50% comments are still flying around. What have you made of all of that building up to the fight?
Well, Chris is brilliant at getting under people's skin, and nobody trains on Christmas Day around that time and gives it 60%. 60% is to wind up Smith. That's what it's about. You know, he's going to give it his all, and that's the sort of fight he is. He can say and do whatever he wants outside the ring just to get under the opponent, but under the opponent's skin. But that's who he is. I think both fighters will be completely professional in regards to their approach behind closed doors for this fight. It's a case of who's got the best game plan in regards to warfare's already started. And if everybody, if both fighters think, well, it's not until we get in the ring, they're wrong. Warfare starts once this fight was announced. And I think Chris is actually very good at mental warfare. And because if you get to that stage with a fight and you're really getting in the head, half the battle's won. You've either got to get them mad or get them to hate you.
We are expecting gloves are off from you. I spoke to Liam Smith as well. He said that most of it you probably won't show. What can we expect from it?
Liam is no nonsense. He's a proper straight, run-of-the-mill kind of guy. He'll say what he sees and react to what is put in front of him. Chris is cool as a cucumber, and he knows that. He knows that kind of rattles and winds people up. Because, believe it or not, fighters look at Chris, and the hardest thing is, it's hard for them to give him full respect because of his background. And he's still having that argument now, even though he's proved, look, forget about that sort of stuff. And Liam was one of those fighters to say, you're a decent fighter, but you should never beat me. It shouldn't happen. And both fighters, especially Liam, are saying, you beat me, I'm done. I don't belong here. I don't belong here. So there's a lot on the line for Liam especially. Do I believe if Chris loses he'll pack in? Nah, I don't. I don't believe it. Do I believe if Liam loses he'll pack in? Yeah, I do. I do believe it.
Another fight we have to talk about as well. We're expecting early March or March time. Taylor-Catterall rematch. Ben Shalom was on TalkSport talking about that. Something that Ben mentioned, and I want to ask you about this because of the controversy with the decision in the first fight. Ben said that possibly we could see a form of VAR within boxing. What are your opinion on that?
I hope we do, but it's because you've got 1 minute to have a make or change a decision, or by the end of the fight, if a point's been deducted, You can do that, but in fight, if I'm a fighter and a point's been taken off, I don't know how fast or how effective the VAR would be in regards to making a decision and getting that message relayed to the fighter to change his mindset mid-fight. So yes, I think it could be done, but it's very, very simple in regards to wrong decisions, and that is the one that's judged the fight. Get him to sit down in front of a camera and explain. Don't do it through a representative. Do it yourself, and that way there'll be less people willing to make such outrageous scorings because they'll think, "Now I've got to do it right." I don't mind if you disagree with me, and really people can't really say anything apart from saying you're a wanker, you got that wrong. But if you blatantly do wrong, then I do mind, and so therefore that's where people will be less inclined to slip up. They'll get their job done. They'll be accountable for their actions.
I get where Ben's coming from, and I really do appreciate such early on in Ben's promotional career and boxer, the things that you guys are doing at Sky Sports is incredible, but VAR is not necessarily working within football. I just don't see how it would work within boxing.
That's human error. That's human error. It's not VAR. That's human error, and that's again, it's decision making and how it's handled. So VAR is working, but it's human error in regards to how they handle it and decision making. Same in boxing, and so and look, as I've said it before. I think Ben is emerging to be one of the top dogs because he's bringing something new to the game. You know, he's working with everybody and anybody. Promoters don't do that. You know, the shows they're putting on, shows that are being on that should have been on that probably wouldn't have been made. You know, he's willing to sit down with everybody and anybody and work, and so give this young man time, and he'll have a resume to brag and boast about.
Just two more for me. How much different will we see this fight?
I think the difference is Taylor now respects Catterall. Catterall now knows he can beat Taylor. It sounds like the same story told when Carl Froch and George Groves boxed the second time. So my worry is, and I've probably said it, so I'll stick by it. My worry is lightning only struck once, and so therefore he had the art of surprise to better his man, and it worked for him. He won that fight. Now he knows what to expect, as in Taylor. Will it be the same kind of fight? I think it'll be a lot more intense. I think Taylor, how he wears his heart on his sleeve, he's very an emotional animal, as if to say, I'm not taking your shit. I'm not even playing at taking your shit. Whereas Catterall knows what he's capable of doing. So he doesn't want to get complacent. He still wants to think and fight like a hungry fighter that's fighting for his last meal. And I just don't know if those dynamics have changed for this fight.
And finally as well, I have to mention his name again, recent tweets and things on social media from Conor Benn seems frustrated with the WBC. Do you sympathise with that at all?
I've actually not paid any attention to it because, and there's no point, until there's an official statement out, we can only speculate. And so therefore, as far as anybody's concerned, he's given up his licence. If not, he's suffering a ban for a certain amount of time. And so it doesn't matter what is said or not said, or what frustration expressed. There's no point in paying attention to it because you're wasting your time. Until something comes out and you've got some meat to put on the bones, you're wasting time even speculating.
So you can't comment whether you think he'll be out in 2023 because they're pretty confident over there in Matchroom that he will be out in 2023.
Depends in what capacity. Depends in what capacity. And I holding a British Boxing Board of Control licence, I struggle to actually see that. But again, I've just got to wait and see what they say. See why they think that is the case. There's a reason why why he thinks that. So they must have a strong case. So let's see what the case is.
Johnny, thanks for your time. Congratulations as well. Long time coming, and Happy New Year. And thanks on to Boxing Social.